Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a couple, sorry I'm squinting, I've got a couple final fall DIYs. I was doing some for my front porch. It's not a lot for like a really big video, but I was doing them, so I figured I'd share them with you. Let's get to the DIYs. All right, so we've got just two DIYs today, and they're all both pretty easy. We've got these yard stakes from the Dollar Tree. I picked up 3 of them in these coordinating colors that I thought looked like candy corn, and I thought that was fun. Let me tell you, they make these a little bit better than they used to. So I've never had problems pulling the stakes off before, but I struggled. So I'm going to share with you this part just so that you're kind of aware. I used my heat gun to try to soften whatever glue was there. It probably really just softened the stick itself, but be careful because that will also make the metal hot. And I'm also continuously hitting the camera, but I got it off, but you can see there's one little hole at the top, and I just was trying to bend the metal back over it to cover it up. The white one, I broke off the stick at the bottom, which was great. So, and this comes in handy later. I'll show you. So just bent it back and forth. That came off. Now attaching these, in my mind, this was going to be super easy. I knew I needed to use E6000 or more like a stronger glue. But I struggled with this. So I cut out a lot of this for you, but I did want to show you the struggle. I'm sorry if you can hear a dog barking. I am clinging to this beautiful fall weather we have, and I'm doing my voiceover out on my porch. So the wind chimes are going off and the dogs are barking. So I tried using a little bit of hot glue for the immediate hold, but it was useless on the metal. I tried clipping this to let the glue dry. It just wasn't working. So I'm using a baby wipe to not glue my hand to anything. And getting off what I could, and we're going at it again. I'm kind of bending up the leaf and the curlicue here to have another space for contact because that's kind of the biggest problem here. And I struggled again. I didn't want glue to seep out, so I put a paper towel down, which really didn't make sense because that would have just stuck to that. Anyways, put my tote of stuff on top of it. Finally, it worked, but it needed more stability, so I added the tumbling tower blocks underneath the stem with some more E6000. Oh my goodness, the dogs are going crazy. That ended up working out pretty good. Okay, so moving on to the base for this little piece is I picked up this bucket at Dollar General. The handle was broken, but it was also 50% off because it was their spring and summer stuff, so it was only $4. And I'm just using some E6000 and letting the weight of the bucket be what holds it into place. And we're fixing the handle. Now I like the black, and I use a lot of black, but I felt like it was too harsh, especially with what I was using it with. I didn't want it to look Halloween-like because I don't decorate or do Halloween. So I'm using my chippy brush and the white paint that I mixed there, you'll see for the next DIY. I'm just using that because I already had it mixed. And I'm doing a few layers of a heavy dry brush until I got the coverage that I wanted, but it's easier to add more than to try to take it off. You really can't. So I also did the inside. I probably didn't need to do the whole inside, but I kind of got on a roll and I had the paint mixed. So I'm using some floral foam. This I picked up at a thrift store on vacation for $1, which 25 cents cheaper than the dollar store. So that was great. You can see the hot glue was like shrinking up the plastic, but I didn't need like a forever hold. So that was adequate, but I thought it would work better if the blocks were still like attached. We're out on the porch. So the lighting isn't great and the camera work isn't great because I didn't have my tripod and I was trying to do all this one-handed, but in essence, I'm using something to weight it down. I end up pulling them out. I'm going to load up some plastic bags around the base, then put the rocks in, and then put in some pine cones. These are very porky pine cones, but they're from my yard, and I've been collecting them, and I use them on my porch. But while I was doing this, I decided the sign was too tall. I went to the garage, tried to find something to trim down the stake, very unsuccessfully, and ultimately it just broke off. So I was trying to figure out a way to cut it. These stakes are so thick. You might have a tool that you can do that with, but I did not know of one. So I'm using the white one from earlier, and my thought was to attach it with the tumbling tower blocks. And then I had a really bad brain moment where I was going to put more tumbling tower blocks on top, but they were just falling all over the place. I'm like, let me put this on to weight it down. Oh no, they're falling over. And then the E6000, which is scary glue to me, is getting all over everything. I'm trying to tape them down. Let me just tell you, this is a very easy DIY. I decided to leave a little bit of audio in here for your pleasure.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So at this point, I'm feeling pretty desperate. I'm afraid I'm going to glue myself to something. I was like, at this point, I'm like, just go all in. Just do it. We'll worry about your hands afterwards. So I cut off some ribbon using some tumbling tower blocks to push that down. I end up putting a second piece of ribbon over to absorb some of the extra glue and taping it with some painter's tape. Then we're going to weight it down, and this ended up working. Here is how it came out, and in the end, I really loved how it came out. I just could have saved myself by doing things a little bit, save myself some frustration by doing it a little bit differently. So for the next DIY, we're gonna paint some things to redo my wreath. So I'm just mixing up some colors. I'm wanting it to coordinate with the stake sign that we just did. So I'm doing a white, orange, and yellow, just using colors I have on hand. And the white, I kind of wanted to dirty it up a little bit or soften it up a little bit, not like a true off-white. Wow, I should have done this voiceover outside earlier in the day. It seems like there's lots of noises out here. Okay, so I picked up these pumpkin clips from Dollar Tree. I picked up 3 packs of them, and we're gonna paint them. This is before I attached the white stake to the pumpkin stack outside. So I'm using that to clip my pumpkins to while they dry, and this way I could just do the whole thing. And I'm just going to do 3 of them yellow, 3 of them orange, and 3 of them white. I could have left the white alone, but I just wanted to paint it because apparently I had nothing better to do with my time. I did want to just show you, some of them have this little like plastic piece sticking off the stem, and I just would trim those up, trim off any extra like glue strings and stuff. But other than that, just painting them. I did not seal these or anything. I know it's not going to last forever because my porch gets a ton of sun anyway. And then I'm pulling this letter P. I already had this in my stash. I've had this for like 10 years. I've painted it probably, I don't know, half a dozen times. And I gave it a coat with the white, and then I'm just using my pouncer brush with the yellow and orange, making some dots. I got a little bit of orange in it, so I had to go back in with like more yellow. I did paint the back of it as well, just to make sure you couldn't see it through my door, because the door that this goes on is a glass door. And I just wanted to look clean. I thought about doing stripes, but the polka dots seemed fun. I don't always do whimsical, but my front porch was definitely a little bit more of that vibe or feel. I don't really like the word vibe. Anyways, I'm hot gluing a piece of floral wire down with a popsicle stick so that I can attach this to the wreath. I'm clipping off the twine. This is the wreath we're using. It's a grapevine wreath from Hobby Lobby, and this is like the 3rd time I've done something with it. All I had done was wrap the twine around those stars for the summer, so there's no glue involved. And these I'm just clipping on, trying to find good pieces of the grapevine to clip them onto. And again, I'm holding the camera here, so I do apologize for the camera work, but these were so simple, it didn't seem worth the effort of like setting up a whole thing. And now I'm just using the floral wire to attach the P, and then tucking the ends back into the wreath so it didn't scratch my door. But yeah. And then I had these little cornstalk pieces from Hobby Lobby. They come in a bag. I'll probably be using them for quite some time now. But I am just going to tuck those in different pieces for a little bit of added texture. And here is how my wreath came out. I was pleased with it. I do feel like I need to fix one of those pumpkins. It looks a little out of place. But anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new. And I will see you in my next video. Here's my finished porch. Didn't do a whole lot. Kept it pretty simple. Thanks for watching, guys.